Let's discuss about loops today. In Python, popularly we use for loop and while loop. So let's discuss like both of them. Let's start with while loop first. It would be of this syntax. In while, you have to write a condition, and once the condition is given, just similar to if, we have to put a colon. So which means the bracket opens, right? I mean, just like in few of the programming languages, there will be a bracket open and close. So here, instead of that, we'll be having like this. So code 1, code 2, so you can have multiple lines of code, and once you come out of these indentation, right? Like, I mean, we put like some spaces or a tab, like maybe 2 spaces, 4 spaces, or a tab. You can use anything, like maybe number of spaces is of your choice. If we come out of this and write some new code 4, so this code 4 is actually out of loop, and but like code 1 to 3, you write all the code which is supposed to be inside the loop, giving some indentation. So usually like people prefer tab because it is easy, just like one stroke in the keyboard. Even if you use collab or notebook, it would automatically give that like spacing, because I did not type this, it came automatically. If you want the code line 4 should be part of not part of loop, then you erase the indentation which it has automatically given. Let's see like one of the program and then use while loop. Like I have defined a list with 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So if I want to print all these values, so now if I want to print, we can do it while, and then like we have to give a condition. So before writing a program, let's think like what should be given. This is a list, and if I want to print like each of the element, let's see first how to access this element, and then this element, and then we see. So if we want to access Python first, right, so we can do a of 0. In case if you don't know the loops, what you can do is, if you want to print all these elements, you can print like a of 0, a of 1. Likewise, we can print all the values, right? Because a of 1 would give the second value over there, a of 2. Similarly, like if you want the whole. So usually, in case if you don't know the loops concept, so what we do is like if I want to print all the items here, so you would be printing like this. So a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, so on till the end. So there are still 2 more. So I would be printing like this. If I missed out something because I don't know the length of the item, so that's why I missed out these. So I should also know where to stop. Check the length of a, so which was 8. So as index starts from 0, so 0 1 2 3, so on, it would be 7, right? So 7 would be the index in the last. To print from 0 till 7. If the list has 100, then it would be quite challenging, right? So you can't always give this, and also we can't know that like always list will have the fixed number of elements. Print a of 8 here, because you don't know the length, and you gave like a of 8, it would have given an error. So what is this error? So it was error in this line, like print a of 8, and it is saying index error. So index error, list index is out of the range. The index what you gave in this list is out of the range, like that list doesn't have that index. So you can also check here. You can also see here there are like 2 items in a list, and 0 1 worked, but if you use my list of 2, it will give an error. So that is index error. So we should be cautious that like we should not give an index which is greater than the length here. Okay, so one thing like we understand is we have to give a condition, or like repeat the index from 0 to till where, actually like from 0 we have started and we went till 7. So 7 is what? The length is 8, so we went till 7. So till length of a minus 1. So this is what we should do is we have to print like incrementing the index, like the index value start from 0 and we have to increment it, and we have to increment till length of a minus 1, because here it is 8, length is 8, so it should be till 7, right? So how to do that? Let's see in while loop. So in while, so first let's see, like let's think about how to do it. So I am planning to use a variable equal to 0, and let me use while loop. Inside this while loop we have to give a condition. So condition is I less than, here till 7 it should print, right? So it should be less than 8. So I am planning to put a 0 and then increment 1 each time till it goes to 8. Okay, so less than 8, and here I want to increment I value, I plus 1. It would come here first and then check for this condition. If this condition is satisfied, then it would execute the code inside, and then again it comes here. So let me show it here. So in while loop, so initially it would check for the condition, and if the condition is satisfied, it is going to execute the codes within that block. Okay, so which is these code 1, code 2, code 3, and once the code 3 is executed, it will again come back here and check for this condition. So if this condition is satisfied, again it would execute these 3, and similarly it would be in a loop here. So this would continue till this condition failed, and once this condition is violated, then it would come out and execute the rest of the lines. So using the same concept, I am planning to use I initialize with I equal to 0, use a condition, say like I less than 8. So 0 is less than 8, right? So 1 would be less than 8, like that. I want to increment it till 7. So it has started from 0, then incremented. So let me print and then increment, because that would only give after incremented value, right? So now you can see it has started from 0 and incremented. It has printed first 0 here and then incremented it as 1. I value would be 1, and it would check, is 1 less than 8? Yeah, it is true. So it would come here, print 1, then it would increment the value I plus 1. It is already 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then it comes back here, 2 less than 8, it would check. So it is again satisfied. So it would come here. So print the 2, and then it would again increment. 2 plus 1 would be 3. Again come here, 3 less than 8, that is true. So it would print the 3. Likewise, it would go till let's see again when I equal to 7 comes. So when I equal to 7 is 7 less than 8, so that is true. It would print the 7, which is this, and then it would increment. So once it is incremented, it is 7 plus 1, I value would be 8. Then it comes here, then I less than 8, so it is 8 less than 8, which is false, right? So once because now it is false and the condition is violated, so it would come out of this loop. Execution is done. So that is how we can increment this 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Okay, now I want to use this, like you can see this 0, 1, 2, 3, so on, or we can see the same 0, 1, 2, 3, so on till 7 here, and it is, I have manually added it here, right? So now no more of manual doing it completely. So we can use this print statement. Instead of print I, if I print a of I and then run it, so let's see what would come. Yeah, this result seems same as this result, right? So Python 1.2 program till 6 it has come. Python 1.2 program till 6. So what we did here is again the same. So it would be 0 initially. So it would print a of condition 0 less than 8, then a of 0, which is Python, and then it would increment I equal to 1, and then 1 less than 8, and then come back here, a of 1 is 1. Then similarly it would continue till the end, where I equal to 7. At that point 7 less than 8 is true, a of 7 is 6, and it would increment till 8, and then this condition wouldn't be satisfied, so it would come out of the loop. So this is one example of using while loop. Okay, using for loop, one difference from compared to while loop and for loop is, here inside while, so we have incremented the code. Here we only have a condition inside while, and then the incrementation part and other things like we do it here, right, inside. For loop it is little different. Instead of writing a condition, we will be iterating. I mean, like here we have inside the code, like we have iterated by incrementing the I value by saying that 0 1 2 3 so on, right? So here we can directly iterate here itself. So let me do that directly with an example, so it would be easy to understand. Check this, like this is value, and here you can see I have given a little differently, like it doesn't look like a code, right? So that is how like for loop would be. So for item in A, print item. So it's just like saying it literally, see the item inside the A and print it, and then see the, because it is a loop, it look at the item inside the A, print it, again the same. So let's run it and see like if we are getting the same result. Yeah, you can see, right, like we got the same result. This is one way of printing the items in the list. So for loop is like it would iterate each item. The name need not be item, it can be anything. Just like for relevance purpose, I have written it an item. So I can also give something like this. Instead of storing it in A, instead I can give like this and then print item. I can do this. So if you run it, it would iterate, like first time it would print 10, second it will print 20, it will go and print 30. So you don't need to know the length of this item. So that would be an advantage while using the for loop. But here if you see in the previous case, we have checked and then saw what is the length of this list and then used it in the condition, right? So here you don't need to do that. So you can directly use this list here, and then automatically it will iterate like each item at a time. Now let's use a combination of loops and conditional statements. Let's say I want to print only like alternate values in the list. So not all the list, like but like alternate value means like Python 2 3 5. So I want to print those, only those. So in that case, let me first do it in while loop, and same way we can do it in for loop as well. So first let me initialize I equal to 0 while, and now the condition would be like earlier we have written a condition like, so I should be less than length of A, right? And then given a condition where we have printed A of I, and I'm incrementing because I need this I value to go from 0 till the last. This would print the entire list. So this would print the entire list, but I want to print only the elements in the like even positions, like 0 2 4, only those things like I want to present, like at the index level 0 2 4 and 6. So this print should not be done always. It should be done only if I is an even number. We have to know like what is a condition for even number. So even number is like that it should be divisible by 2, right? So what we can do is I, if it is divisible by 2, the remainder would be 0. You can place this condition. This condition would work, right? So let's see and run it here, and then let me give 2 divided by 2. It is true. If it is 3 divided by 2, it is false, and if it is 4, again true, right? So same way, if you increment, it would be true only like alternatively. So for 0 it would be true, like 2 it would be true, 4 it would be true, only it would be true in the alternate cases. This print we can do only if this condition is satisfied. So for that case, I moved this print statement within this if condition. You see, like it has printed alternatively Python is 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4. 4 is like 3 here. So and 5 and 6. So that is the index value. So just not to be confused, let's do all in strings. Same thing again. Use the same code. So it would give the alternate, which is Python program. So and in case if you want to do it in for loop, print item is what we have now. Okay. But here if you want to know alternatively, you don't have it, like because here we have the index value, and this index value we are checking if it is divisible by 2, and then we are doing it. Okay. But this in this case, like you don't have that I index value. So again, what I'll give you two alternatives which you can use it. So you can also use I here and then increment an I. So and then only print this if I the same condition what we gave there, right? So you can give this and then run. Let's see, we will be getting the same output. You see. So here what we did is, like, this is irrespective of the length of I, so it would increment, but anyway in the for loop we have only looking at A, right? So it would iterate only till items of A got ended. Then anyway we won't get that error because of length of A. So but this doesn't look like useful, like, because we are not utilizing the advantage of this for loop. It is same as while, right? So even then, like, it is better to use while, because here this implementation is much better than this. So is a functionality of enumerate and then A. So this would give us the index value, and just with this we would be getting the same result. So you can see Python program. Enumerate would return two things, like along with the item, which means the value within this list, it would also return the index value. So because of that, as we directly have this index value, we can check if it is divisible by 2, we can print it. If it is not, then don't print it. Like, let me introduce you to like range function. So you have range of, like, if you use like 1 to 10, and then you want to know what are the things inside it, you can use it even in, like, in for loop you can directly use it. So I in range print I. So and if you see what it prints, so it has printed from 1 till 9. So this is a start point, like from where it would start, and then it would increment the value till it reaches here, but it doesn't be this value. And if you want to check it directly, you can convert this into a list and then print it directly in a list. Like you can see the things like in a list here. Okay, so same way, let me also see what is there inside this enumerate. So if you only do this enumerate A, we may not get it, but if you use list of enumerate A, it would show us the result. You see, so it has given a longer list where if you see the element, so this is a first element. So this element gave like two things in along with item here. It is also saving the index. So index and the value, again index and the value, index and the value, same way. Each time if you run a for loop, it is actually, in the first time it is returning this combo. Second time it is returning this combo. It's the same way here and this. So it would be giving this pairs here. Let's say I want to get the sum of values from 1 to 10. First, like, we have to get a list, so where we have values from 1 till 10. Okay, so but I don't want to type here, so we can utilize the range, like which we used it before, right? So it is coming till 1 to 9 if you put like 1 comma 10. So if you want till 10 also to be there in this list, we have to give 11. So let me give 11 here. Okay, so this would be a list of numbers from 1 to 11. So let me print a. It would come as range. If you just for printing purpose, you can put like list of, then you would be knowing what are the numbers. So I'm going to remove it. We have a, and I want to know the sum of numbers here. So from 1, and then I want to know add these two, this, and I want to add each of them. So we can use this list here. So we can iterate, right? So how do you want to add? Like how will you add it? Like you will add 1, 2, so it is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 10. 10 plus 5 15. So same way function which is like item of a, and then like each of these values, what we should do is we have to add, right? So initially if with nothing is been added, so the sum would be 0. So I am defining a variable sum of list and I am initializing with 0. So now I would take this value and then iterate it. So what I would do is like I would be adding the item. So each of the number here I would be adding to this sum, and once it is added, then it would iterate and it will go for the next item. It would add to the sum, then it would iterate. I'll be printing the sum here. That is the plan. We got a value 55. So I also want to see what is getting printed just for explanation purpose. So let me print each time the thing. So first it is coming as like 1, and initially it is 0. Then we have added like to the 0, 1 has been added, and the value of list would be 1. And then it is going here and getting the next item which is like 2. So and it is coming inside. So previous 1 is there and 2 is being added, and now it is 3. So print 3, and again going back, get the new element which is 3. So 3 here, new element 3 here, and previously sum is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. We got 6 here, and likewise it would iterate over this and we would be getting the values. You can have some random numbers like 10, 20, 100 to use the same logic. So if you run it, then you see, so first it was like 0, then after like adding the first element which is 10 here, so we got 10 printed here, and then going back, take the second element 20, and 20 and previously 10 is there, right? So 10 plus 20 is 30, and then going back the next element which is 100, so 100 and previously 30 is there, so we got like 130, and there is no more elements to iterate, so it will come out, and we are printing the sum of the list which is 130. So this is a way if you want to iterate across list, or maybe like we'll be discussing now about like few other data types. So even if you can iterate over those as well. So this is about loops.